Good evening, Aaron. How are you, man?
Adam, what's happening, bro? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. Welcome in. Excited to share your story, man. I think it's going to be a
I'm
good one.
excited to be here. I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome, man. Awesome. It's been a while. We've been trying to plan this for a bit of time, but man,
No,
I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Aaron,
great.
for people that are watching, let's give them a quick intro, man. Who are you? What are you up to? And what are they going to learn today?
Yeah, so I'm Aaron Lawless, obviously one of your students, owner, co-founder of A1D Agency. So obviously I've been doing this business now, I'd say close to maybe 2 years.
Mhm.
It's only hit off really the past year. But yeah, man, no, things are going amazing. Thanks to yourself, and Ty as well, and the rest of the team.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And yeah, man. So let's walk through just from I guess the start, right? So, when did you first get the idea of starting an agency? Because if you're like me, Aaron, it's you've had the idea, but you might have sat on that idea for some time. Is it right for you? Is it a scam? Is it going to work? Who am I to even go and do this business? You probably had similar thoughts to me. So, just for people watching, what was that kind of process like for you, just getting things kicked off and started?
So like it was funny enough, like I've always known, like ever since I was in school, that I never really wanted to, go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of knew in myself that I was gonna have my own sort of business some way. So when I left school, I actually did a PT course. I got my certificates in PTing. I did that for, I'd say maybe 2, 3 years, and it was great at the time. But I always knew that I was meant for more. I always knew that I wanted more. And a friend of mine came up to me with an opportunity. That's Dylan Foy. So Dylan came to me and he told me that he was working with you for some time. And he basically told me about the idea and the model. And to be honest, from the moment he told me, I was kind of hooked. So I said, yeah, let's do this. Let's give it a go. So obviously at the start, you're going to be hesitant. I've done so many courses online that I've got scammed over, that hasn't gone my way. Like, to be honest with you, Adam, I did a course before and I was scammed close to like 6 grand.
Heavy.
Yeah,
That's heavy.
heavy.
What was the course about?
So the course was essentially basically how to grow your PT business online.
Mm-hmm.
Was with a a well-known Irish man. I won't say his name anyways,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
after joining the course, I was given kind of basic knowledge that I could probably, get from YouTube. And
Mm-hmm.
I was very disappointed with it. And I was locked into a contract and the
Mm-hmm.
payments had to come out. I couldn't stop them. I rang the bank. The bank said, look, for some reason we can't stop these transfers. They just have to come out. So yeah, at the end, in the end, I lost 6 grand. But look, at the end of the day, it's a learning curve. You have to
Mm-hmm.
do these things. You have to take the risk in order to obviously learn from them. But anyways, Dylan came to me with obviously the idea of the Figure Accelerator Program, and yeah, obviously at the start I was hesitant after coming
Mm-hmm.
out of that ordeal. And going into another one, I just didn't want that to happen. I was a young guy. To lose 6 grand at that age was a lot of money, but I mean, that's life. And anyways, I seen obviously how well Dylan was doing, and I said, you know what? Like life is about risk. So I ended up joining the Figure Accelerator Program back in, geez, it was about close to 2 years ago, anyways. Now, and yeah, I mean, it took a while for me to start off. I feel like, you know, um, for me, it's how do I say it? It's like there's loads of different ways you can go about it. Like you give us this information, and we can do with it like whatever way we please. So there's loads of different routes, loads of different ways we can go about it. The way the systems are set up, they're so easy to obviously go through. Everything is there in detail for you. There's videos, and yeah, I kind of just sat down, and from the initial start, I just was hooked. Like I sat down, I'd say like for 2 or 3 days in a row, and I went through all the videos. So it's broken down obviously as a step-by-step guide. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to the very end. Like obviously there's steps where you're on 10K and
Mm-hmm.
then tell you how to scale from there. But I just
Mm-hmm.
went through it all. Like I can't lie to you, I went through it all because but yeah, it took me a while to initially start. I feel like for me, I found that the most important thing was kind of building a reputation. So I kind of made a different approach rather than kind of jumping in the deep end. I kind of put myself out there a little bit, and I literally went like store to store. I went from shop to shop, and I talked to loads of business owners, loads of managers. I made connections, built up networks, and that's kind of how I initially got my first kind of set of clients. Just through walking in that front door, just
Mm.
kind of biting the bullet, doing something that nobody wants to do, and just going straight in there. So I think I got my first client, I'd say, I think it was maybe like a month or so after I began. I was working with a Chinese restaurant for a while. I was doing their videos for them. I was doing video edits. So I kind of did it a little bit different. Like with the accelerator program, like anybody can do, whatever way they want to do it. For myself, I kind of took the initiative, and what I did was, rather than getting them to record the videos, I recorded the videos myself, because it was actually a passion of mine. I was into videography, I was into all that kind of stuff. So I literally started out with my phone, going into businesses, recording videos, and then from there I got into editing, started doing the edits, and then from there I bought my first camera. I continued with that, and then eventually I got so many clients that I was able to actually outsource the work. So I hired out a videography team, I hired out an editing team, and now I kind of just sit back and manage it all. So yeah, it's amazing. It's been amazing.
Love it, man. Love it. And Aaron, like that process you went through, man. So like, being young, you're still young, right? And obviously younger at the time when you started, getting scammed quite a hefty amount of money for something that just didn't quite deliver. But then, as you said, still having that appetite to go and take another risk by joining our program. That says a lot, man. That says a lot. And that's not easy to do, I'm sure, for yourself. That wasn't easy. And but hopefully for people listening, that maybe gives them a bit of reassurance to know, like, that's how you get to this position. You don't get to this position that you're in right now by just following the proven plan. Like you said, you didn't want to go to university in the first place, so you went and did a different thing. Got a PT course, tried that out, then went into the agency business. But there's a lot to be said for that, man, because you know what I mean? That is scary. And, if people can really understand that, like, hey, look, this is just something you commit to, and you just say to yourself, I'm just going to keep going, keep trying, keep, taking these small risks until it works. There's really no way then that you end up and it doesn't work, But if somebody in your case paid 6K, didn't get what they were promised, like most people would have then said, okay, cool, I'm never going to do that ever again. I'm never going to pay for a program. I'm never going to look outside of where I'm currently at, and I should just play it safe. So fair play, man. That's definitely a hard thing to do. And then, as you said, like with the agency model, as you said, there's so many routes you can go down. There's no one specific way. Yes, we have preferences for certain ways of getting clients, certain ways of, or certain amounts that we would charge, certain packages and such, but it's up to you. It's up to you, man. So for where you're currently at, Aaron, so obviously, as you said, you started off kind of yourself. You did a little bit of the videography yourself. You were doing the editing process yourself. Now you're outsourcing. So for somebody that's just starting, like, what does your day-to-day look like now? And I guess, how has that changed as you've actually grown, gotten more clients, and started to build out your team as well?
So I don't know. It's pretty funny. Like, although a lot of my friends would say like I've accomplished a lot, for somebody my age, like it's still, I don't know. Like, it's just, I just want to continue. Do you know what I mean? I still feel like I'm at the bottom. I feel like I still have a lot, to go. But yeah, I mean, initially starting out, like, it was long hours, long days, but like, obviously the more clients you get, the more things start to kind of even out. I think the most important thing is the systems you build, and I feel like the Figure Accelerator Program really, really kind of like locked in like my systems very well. I feel like having them systems in place just kind of like makes your business more stabilized. It means that you're able to kind of like have it work itself in the background. Like my day-to-day life right now, to be honest with you, Adam, like I just like it's just I mainly focus on kind of like building the business up, trying to get more clients. Like, it was weird, like there was this kind of like shift, I'd say, after the first year, where I got people coming to me and like asking me about my services, what we do, like basically asking me to like be a part of their team, to partner up with them, and to come in as their social media team and video production team. And like I feel like that was kind of like how would you say, that was a big boost in ego, because
Mm,
like
mhm,
coming from, you know, nothing and going into shops and stores and, you know, asking to speak to the managers and people in charge, and like, you know, obviously hearing a lot of no's to
mhm,
eventually hearing a lot of yeses, and then from that to people actually reaching out to me, it
mhm.
was very overwhelming. Like it was a great feeling. But like my day life now is, yeah, just mainly consistently focusing on like trying to grow the business, managing clients, just making sure business owners are happy, making sure everything's going smoothly as possible, that the systems are working, planning content for the month in advance. Like everything is kind of seamless now, and yeah, I mean
Nice.
it's working out very well.
Amazing, man. Amazing. And I love that. Like, that's the journey, you know? Like,
Yeah,
you didn't start with every system in the world. You know, you started with what you needed to do, which was go speak to people, go get clients. And then once you got clients, you start to piece together those systems then. Yeah, man, it's such a beautiful journey because, like you said, it doesn't just end there. You know, it's not like you've just gotten to this destination now and that's it. You know, you still have that hunger, you still have that drive, that interest to keep things going.
yeah,
And, you know, obviously that will mean more money for you in the future as well, which is fantastic. But I think it's more the mindset, right? Of like,
yeah,
actually, you've built something that you like. Because if you absolutely hated what you've built, you probably wouldn't be thinking, let's get more clients. You'd probably be thinking, let's just kind of, you know, get this to a point where we can do literally nothing, hands off, completely step back and milk
yeah,
it dry, make as much as
exactly.
we can from it. So it's a great place you're in, man. And then with having a co-founder or a partner,
Yeah,
how does that dynamic work for you? You know, most people we've worked with that have had founders or co-founders or partners, there's typically two people with slightly different skill sets. One
yeah,
maybe is more outspoken, maybe extroverted, maybe salesy kind of marketing, and the other might be more system orientated, internal team admin, that kind of stuff. What does that
yeah.
look like for you and your partner?
Yeah, so first off, I'm going to start by saying that I feel like if you are to go down the route of a partnership, to be very, very, very careful who you partner
Mm,
up with.
agree.
Um, Now, like I did partner with somebody in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still a good friend of mine, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't go the way we wanted it to go. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like he wanted to focus on one side of the business and I wanted to focus on the other. So, for example, he was looking more so into systems, the likes of review management, the likes of SEO kind of stuff, whereas
Mm-hmm.
I like the content creation kind of side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than kind of coming together on that, like we just decided to go our own separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
So he went off and did his own thing, and I went off and did mine, and that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the business kind of expanded because a friend reached out. Well, a friend of a friend reached out to me, and he owned a clothing brand called Ocean One. It's big enough clothing brand in Ireland. It's a streetwear brand, and he asked me about obviously doing some creative content with him, and I basically, yeah, I said, yeah, let's give it a go. So I did a few shoots with him and things went really, really well. And I told him that, you know, I kind of had an opening there, as in, you know, I lost my partner and I don't know what it is. For me, I feel like having a partner there is huge in terms of accountability. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, just like you said, if you have a partner that, you know, has one set of skills and you have another set of skills, when you guys come together, like you can create something amazing. And I reached out to Keenan and basically told him I had a free opening there. Like, you're very good at what you do, like, would you be interested in collaborating with me? So yeah, from there we sat down, we had a meeting, and that's kind of when the business just took off. So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of different skill sets, I feel like me myself, I'm very good when it comes to business. In terms of like having systems in place, in terms of managing clients, I'd be very good at that side of things. Financial wise, I'm very good. Obviously, I do have a good background in creativity, photography, videography, editing, but keen on. has an amazing, amazing editing, creativity kind of skill set as well.
Mm.
And his is probably a little bit better than mine, so I'll give him that one. So he kind of came in on the forefront of that side of things. He came in, his edits were amazing, and I feel like it just kind of like upped our quality, and
Mm.
he helped. So rather than, having, one person like look after videos, we were kind of just splitting the work in two. So
Mm.
it made a lot of sense. We were kind of like, rather than, me putting in 100%, there was 200% put in. There was 100%
Mm.
from me, 100% from him. So everything kind of just scaled and grew quicker. And yeah, I mean, it worked out great. But yeah, like you said, I mean, we all have our own sort of skill sets. I would mainly focus on like client acquisition and managing our partners, making sure everything is going smoothly, managing videographers, the editor, all that kind of stuff. Whereas Keenan would look after the content end of things. He would get
Mm.
content calendars ready. He will go to shoots and make sure that the videographer is okay, making sure that the videographer is looked after as well as our clients. Because I feel like that's another big thing. If you're going to outsource, I really, really, really feel like that whatever systems you put in place, that you look after your own, no matter who they are or where they're located in the world. You have to look after them, whether you're paying them €5 per video or you're paying them €100 per video. Like, you have to look after your team, and I feel like that is another big thing as well in terms of outsourcing. Like, if you are to outsource, you want to create a good team. I wouldn't just you know get somebody on Fiverr for the sake of it. I feel like the best thing to do is find somebody that that is in the creative scene, somebody that somebody that has a passion for what they do, what you're looking for, whether it's editing, videography, and get them in on the business. Give them a solid wage, give them a good wage, and if you're loyal to them, they'll be just as loyal to you.
Solid, man. Solid. There's lots to dig into there, man. Like, first, on the hiring side, I think people always get this kind of this notion, right? When they hear outsourcing and they hear delegating, they kind of get this notion that, right, we will just bring a client in and then we'll find some random editor online, like in one day, and we'll find the cheapest guy, and we'll then just, literally take all the stuff the client wants, say to the editor, right, handle that, see you later, and contact me in a few days. And that's that, right? And like, that's, as you know, it's very far from the reality. Like, yes, in theory, you could go and do that, but like, I'm thinking back to the first guy I hired, right? First graphic designer. Yeah, we didn't pay him huge amounts. It was $5 per graphic, but it was under the premise of like, hey, we're bringing you in. So every single client that we have that's coming in, we want to give to you. Like, we
Exactly.
don't have 2K a month worth of work for you right now. We have one client, right? Are you cool with that? Let's test the waters. You're not going to become ultra rich doing this with us right away, but are you good for that? And he said, yeah. And he was open to learning, and like that, he was super passionate, and he wanted consistency, because
Yeah.
he was a freelancer working with a bunch of different clients, lots of scrappy little projects. And then he stuck around with us, man. And that's like the beauty there of, then when we had client number two, we had even more confidence because we got to test this guy with client number one. Client 50 are like, oh, literally, we're amazing, what we do, because we've got this guy that's just leveled up so much with us over the past few months. So I think that's really key for people to understand. It's not go to Fiverr, find a guy, boom, get him in for a client, then get a different client, get a different guy on Fiverr. No, like you said, you're finding people that are actual good people, long
Yeah.
term, passionate, and that'll be a big part of the team. Another thing, man, to touch on there, what you said about the partnership, right? Like, there's so much in it. You can find a partner where it just doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
That can be a whole long list of issues. And what we've really found, Aaron, is that probably in the last year or so, we've had a lot of people start off, but then actually merge into partnerships, right? Which is a very interesting approach, because in your case, you said you were partnering there with Enon, where like he was coming from a business background as well. I think that's super key, right? Like,
Yeah.
he had his own thing going. So obviously you could kind of vet him based on that of like, hey, he's a hustler, he's hardworking, he's been doing this thing for this amount of time. Then you look at the brand that he's running and you're like, well, look at his skills. He can do this, 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 and this. Whereas some
exactly.
people come in and they say, hey, I'm going to partner with my friend. And there's no real reason why. It's just, he's my friend. We get
Yeah,
on well. And hey, that could work. But I think the way you approach it is, it's the smarter way. You know, you look at actual skill sets, real character. You've tested that through what he's done and then brought him in. So yes,
yeah.
it's super cool, man. Super cool. What would
Yeah.
be, Aaron? What would you say like the number one thing? I guess that held you back, right? Because a lot of people watching an interview like this are probably in a position of wanting to do something like this. You know, they're thinking about it. They might be very close to doing it. They might have even started, but they've started learning, but they haven't quite gotten clients, you know, or they're not really truly fully committing. So for you, when you were starting and in that process, like what would have been something that you wish you knew that you now know?
I'd say for me, consistency and confidence is key. I feel like when I first started, I didn't have much confidence in myself. I didn't have much consistency within what I was doing, in the work I was doing. I feel like I feel like if I was to go back in time, I could have started like a lot quicker. I could have started a lot earlier. I could have just went straight to a shop the first day. Do you know what I mean? Rather than kind of procrastinating for a while because I did do that. Like I wasn't a very confident person. I didn't really want to like, how would you say it? I was kind of afraid to put myself out there.
Mm,
I feel like, as I said to you from the beginning, without risk, there's no reward. No matter
mm,
what it is, whether it's putting 6 grand into, into scams, or whether it's getting up off your arse and going into a shop and talking to a business owner or manager. It's as easy as that. I feel like once you're consistent and confident in yourself, like the choices, everything's endless. The ideas are endless. What you can achieve is limitless. But you just kind of have to make, that first move, that action, to get up off your arse and to either go to the store. It could be even as much as outreaching, just outreaching a few people online, and calling up a few stores. You don't even have to go in. Maybe start by doing some phone calls. It's completely up to yourself. Like the ideas are endless, but it's up to you to kind of pull the trigger and just take action in what you're doing.
100%, man. I love that. I love that because if you have the confidence, but you're not consistent, sure, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter, right? But if you're then consistent, but you don't have the confidence, that's an issue as well. We
Yeah,
had someone recently, Aaron, where she was doing Upwork, okay, so finding prospects on Upwork, which is something we promote quite heavily now, just because of how warm the leads are. They're literally on the platform going, "Hey, I need help with X." You then apply. It's a
yeah,
pretty simple sale normally, so the close rate is very high. So if you can get, let's say, three people, three business owners to book a meeting with you, you'll probably close at least one. You know, very strong chance. But her issue was the confidence piece, right? She had booked in three meetings and she told us, and we checked in with her then a few days later. And we asked, hey, how did they go? You know, anything you learned from them? Did you close any deals? What did it look like? And she said, I didn't take the calls.
yeah,
Obviously, we're like, what do you mean? You didn't take them? As in they wanted to take it, you didn't go ahead. And she said, yeah, I got real nervous. You know, I just didn't want to do it. And
yeah.
that was obviously a very hard pill for her to swallow. And hey, it was great that she could at least share that with us because now we've worked through that and she has the confidence that I feel she needs to get past that. Um, but yeah, like that confidence is just something you got to push through. You know, for her as well, part of that lack of confidence was the fear of, hey, what if I panic on this call? But now she's gotten to that point where she can just push through. And it's kind of
Exactly.
as simple as that. It's obviously a very nuanced topic. But yeah, you gotta have the two. You gotta have the two, man. Um,
I feel like they both come hand in hand, and like obviously on the topic of confidence, that goes back to self belief. You have to believe in
mm,
yourself. I feel
yeah,
like you have no self belief. If if you do this course and you have no belief in yourself, you're wasting your time. You have to
mm,
have yourself. You need to believe in yourself. Because like I can relate to that girl. Because I remember my first
yeah,
it didn't go too great either. I was on it for about, I'd say, 20 seconds, and then I just hung up the call. I just couldn't go through with it.
yeah,
I completely relate to that, and
yeah,
I can see where she's coming from. But like she can push through that because I have
for sure.
myself in terms of calls now. Like I would call myself fairly confident on a call.
Hmm.
I I think my sales, especially over the past year, has, just become very, very, very good. So I'm
Mhm.
happy where I am. But yeah, no, I feel like in time she'll get there. It's just what she needs to do is just continue to obviously put herself out on the line. And I feel like, after her third call, she'll be fine.
Exactly, man. Like my first 10, I vividly remember my first 10 were tragic. They were really bad. You know what I mean? Like palms absolutely profusely sweating before the
Sweating.
call. I'm in Ireland taking the calls. It's cold and I'm absolutely drenched. You know what I mean? So part of the game, like you said, and you just push through it. And that's obviously what separates people from getting the idea of starting something like this and the people then who go through with it, and actually take the steps and fully push through. So yeah, that's solid, man. That's some great advice. And I guess to wrap it up, like Aaron, you've gone through a journey. It's a massive journey. It's obviously hard to capture what that has been like in the last year or two, in 10, 20, 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's some really great advice, for the beginner you, the things that you need to keep in mind, things to focus on. For, the next step, like what does that then look like? Is it just, I guess you said more of, hey, focus on the business in terms of you've got your team, managing them, and more so focused on scaling up, taking in new clients, wrapping up that way. But I'm curious to hear from yourself, man. What's
Yeah.
the next evolution look like?
So I feel like they both go hand in hand. I want to obviously focus on scaling the business, but I'm smart. Like when you scale your business, I feel like, if you have a business mind, if you have a smart mind, you will scale your team with that because once you create a good team, nobody's gonna want to leave you. Do you know what I mean? Once you are delivering and hitting all your targets monthly, nobody's gonna want to leave you. This is one thing that I kind of pride myself in. So I haven't lost a single client yet. Now I have parted ways with a few clients on my own end because
Mm,
some people are hard to put up with. That is something you're gonna have. You're
yeah,
gonna face. Everybody's gonna face something like that. A lot of people are hard to put up with, but look, it's just life. And for me, right now, yeah, like my main focus is to just continue to scale, take on as many businesses as we can. I'd say right now we're currently in a little bit of a role. We're signing at least, I'd say, between 2 and 3 clients per month, since the start of the year, which is really, really good. So we want to continue to scale. But with that, I want to reinvest in myself and grow my team because I feel like at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. And as I said to you, like loyalty, like comes hand in hand. So if I'm loyal to somebody, they're going to be loyal back to me. So, building a team and creating a good foundation for your business, I think that's what's going to like keep it running in the long run. Whereas if you don't treat, who works with you well, if you don't treat, the people that do the small things for you, whether it's editing or going out to the businesses to do videos, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So you need to look after your own first and then look after everybody else.
love it, man. Love it. And Aaron, where can people find you if they want to reach out, check in on what you're doing?
Yeah, so my Instagram page is A1 The Agency. We're Ireland, well, currently Ireland's largest social media agency and video production team.
Awesome, man. Cool. Well, people can reach out directly on there. I'm hoping they got value. I'm sure they did, man. So, everybody watching, go shoot Aaron a message. I guess maybe his business partner might see the message as well, but let him know. If you found this valuable, I'm sure you probably learned something from it. And just give him some feedback because he's taking his time to hop on here and, share with you stuff that, he shared from the heart, like truly motivational and inspirational stuff. So, Aaron, to you, man, appreciate you coming on, and for everybody watching, go show him some love, and let's see the next evolution.
Cheers, man.